All right. Good to get a win, hard to win. Don't take those for granted, number one. Two is I thought we played sloppy in the first half in particular. And then just overall, we got to clean some things up. Second half was a lot better, and controlling the line of scrimmage offensively and defensively with the takeaways. But you can't start a game the way we did with the kickoff return and just getting off to overall a bad start. So I applaud the guys for finding a way, and coaching staff as well. Some good adjustments at halftime. But again, plenty to work on coming out of this game, and we'll look at the tape and make sure we continue to adjust. So time's yours.
Sean, some frustration with the play of Balin. I know that he's been dealing with those calf injuries, had another one. Now he's overloaded in one and certainly the other one a little bit. What went into the decision to play him tonight, and what did you see from him?
Well, Milano was hurt, obviously, and Dorian's been banged up a little bit, dealing with an elbow. So just felt like Balin on early downs would help us there, and then Dorian on third down. So we tried to piece it together. And then also not really knowing, I think Balin tweaked his calf on Thursday, I believe it was. Not really knowing if either of those guys would be available as well. So, and didn't want to overload either one of them. So I'm just trying to patch it together best we could there, and applaud Dorian for going out there and being able to stay out there. So unfortunate again for Balin with his calf, and just had one of those years, it seems like.
Sean, you were down Milano and then the three guys in the secondary who were out last week as well. How much of that was maybe playing it safe given where you are in the season and where you are in the standings versus they just weren't ready to go?
It's funny because we have those conversations with our training staff, and it's like, hey, we're not holding anybody just because, of this or that, because every week, it's tough. But certainly understanding already being in the playoffs, but you're trying to improve your football team overall. So they just weren't ready overall. Jay answered to your question, but you're trying to get your team with some level of continuity so you can develop this player playing next to this player, and then this player playing next to this player over here, and the symmetry, the connectivity of a defense, and so. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, those guys weren't ready to play, and that was from our medical staff. So.
Last week, you guys, started 14-0 lead, and you talked after the game about being ready to go right at the start, and it seems like you're striking quite a different tone today in terms of giving up 14 and falling behind. How disconcerting, I guess, was the start to this game for you?
Overall?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was concerning. Like I said, we don't get off, we kick off, win the toss, defer. Trying to get field position for our offense, and just wasn't complimentary really in any area. And then we didn't win the line of scrimmage enough. And now in the second half, we came out, great drive by our offense, first half of the second half, and you could just tell the difference, right? So when you can win the line of scrimmage, it certainly sets your offense up and makes it hard on a defense and defensive play caller.
Sean, we heard from Josh about his injury, kind of losing feeling and then being able to come back in. But what was that time like when you guys were trying to see if he could go back in or not? A player's always going to lobby to go in. So what were the conversations like that for you? Yeah,
I mean, I touched base with Josh back there, just put eyes on him, and they were going through the tests and whatnot. And, at that point, that's all you can do. Nate was working with him and the docs to see what was going on exactly there. And, they cleared him to go back and play. Our medical staff does a great job with, if it's not safe for a player, they're not going to put him back out there. So I trust them, and they gave him the green light to go back out there.
You guys have been up and down with penalties this season. Today would be a down. I know some of them are subjective and happen in the play, which are more, I guess, acceptable in your mind as opposed to the pre-snap. But to have the total count be 12.
13.
Excuse me, 13. Yeah. How, is that troubling to you?
Yeah, it is. Six of them were pre-snap. So, not good enough. And I think they had 5 penalties overall. We had 13 overall, 6 of which were pre-snap. So we got to come out with with more discipline and can't beat yourselves. I mean, when you just look at the numbers kind of blended all together here, but first half and just beating ourselves and not getting into a rhythm on offense. So they had some third down conversions against the defense, which should never happen, and third and long in particular, 7 plus. So rushing coverage have to work better together there. Look, there's some young players out there too. They're going to learn from some of those situations and experiences. We move forward and make the adjustments we need to make.
What concerns you when you see them getting longer drives? They're not getting big plays on you, but their second touchdown drive, for instance, was 16 plays.
Yeah, the one that started backed up, I believe. Yeah. Well, it's concerning when you're in a run defense and we get guys out of our gaps, right? It's a one-man, one-gap system, and we've got eight people in the box, and a run goes for whatever it went for early in the drive. I forget what play it was that drive, but we got to do a better job of just doing our jobs and playing good, sound, fundamental football, and then getting off the field on third down, right? So we had them in some third downs where it wasn't 3rd and 1, wasn't 3rd and 2, but we got to do a better job getting off the field there. So guys got to make plays, win their one-on-one matchups. We just listen. It's not all negative, right? There's a lot of good. The way these guys fought, came back in the second half, took the ball away, and set our offense up in some situations, and thought we didn't capitalize enough, quite frankly, as well in some of those situations where we had the turnover. So, just all in all, listen, I'm super grateful that we won the game. But I think we can play better than that, and I think the players agree.
Josh, had the block punt a couple weeks ago, and then today they got an important short. What's going on with that unit there?
Yeah, I should have never been in punt return. Should have been in a defense safe situation, 4th and 2. I think approximately maybe 3 to 4 minutes to go before half. They're trying to steal a possession away from us by keeping us on the field, knowing that we're getting the ball after half as well. So you know how dangerous Josh is. We get the ball before half. We talk about it all the time. We score. We get the ball after half, double dip. So they were trying to limit the amount of times Josh touches the ball and our offense touches the ball, and so we got to do a better job there and making sure we get the right grouping on the field right there for that situation.
Was that on Matthew not getting?
Yeah, we went. Yeah. We need to be in defense stay. So.
John, did anything stand out about why the offense wasn't able to get in a rhythm really much of the first half?
Well, the line of scrimmage, I would say overall, and then they were getting into third down style defenses on 2nd and long. To go into great detail at this point, Atlanta would be just, hey, let's look at the film and study it a little bit more, but give them credit. They had a good plan and they executed that plan. So give them the credit.
You mentioned something good. When you guys need to play, Cook goes 40 plus for a touchdown. He's up, I think, 14 on the season. I mean, that's a big number. What's his consistency meant for this offense this season?
No, it's been huge. When he is angry and hungry, he runs like it, and you can tell. That's really true for all of our backs. You saw Ty come in. Ray had a couple good runs, and they compete with one another. You should see the looks in their eyes when one guy's getting the good runs, the other guy's pissed off, and he looks at me. He wants to get in there and slaps my hand really hard, right, instead of just giving me a normal high five or whatever. I get it. Those guys are competitive, and they compete with one another. It's a good thing, quite honestly. They can slap my hand as hard as they want. Just go out there and run angry.
Cam Lewis is a player that's been a rotational guy, special teams, depth piece guy, for a while now. How cool is it as a coach to see that him come up with his first career interception?
Yeah, it's awesome. Here's a young man that you guys know his journey, number one, and then two is he hadn't played a lot of safety for us, even in practice. He's done some, and Joe Dana's done a really good job with that group. And then with the injuries, all of a sudden he's starting at safety as opposed to just, hey, Cam, be ready to go. as the backup safety and also the backup nickel, starting dime, and then four-core special teams player. You know, he gets pushed into the starting role at safety the last 2 weeks, and I think he's done a real nice job. All right, thanks, guys.
Sean.
Merry Christmas to everyone.